You are listening to a MetalExpressRadio.com interview. Enjoy.
Hey, this is Mick Burgess, and I'm now joined backstage at the University of Northumbria, and I'm joined today by George Harris from the Raven Age. George, how's it going?
Good, thanks, mate. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. You're out on the road supporting Anthrax around the UK. So what's been the highlight of the tour so far?
I'd say for me, I think Bristol so far has been the best show. Just the first two, it was just, sort of really close to the wire in terms of getting sound checked and going on stage, and people delaying the doors, and so not many people. So there's a few little problems, but obviously we played in London at the Forum, which is it's a great venue and it's our hometown show, so that was really cool. A lot of family and friends came down, but then the next one after that was Bristol, and everything just went smoothly. The crowd were brilliant. It just, I think that's the highlights for me.
And you got those early tour gremlins sort of ironed out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Anthrax are like legends of the metal world. I mean, they've been around for well over 3 decades.
Yeah.
What have you learned from them on this tour?
So far, we've not had much chance to actually sort of hang out with them. And we've met them before. Played in South America with them last year, and really, really nice guys. Always, especially Frankie's always come up and giving us advice and stuff like that. But I guess it's just to play the way they do. They're playing like a 2-hour set to sort of sustain that and the level of energy they have. You really need to look after yourself. They was telling us that it's all, when you're young, you kind of want to party and do all this sort of stuff. But as you do really need to sort of keep it going to keep up. You're young, and we do the same. We put on a very energetic set, and we like to kind of go a bit crazy on stage. But if that's going to become our thing, we need to keep that.
Pace yourself.
We set a bar. We need to pace yourself. And just keep that going.
Because their fans are tough fans to please. So what do you do to go out and grab their attention?
Yeah, well, we've not really played in front of a thrash audience before, really. So we're kind of a bit like, how's it going to go down? But so far we've been, the reaction's been really positive from the crowd. They've been very receptive, and I couldn't really sort of ask for better reaction so far. It's been really good.
Yeah, I think we look scary. Well, I don't look scary. We look scary on the outside. We're all soft and fluffy inside. Because you've got a new album out next month, and you've got an EP already out.
Yeah.
Is your set based mainly around your album, your forthcoming album, and a couple of covers chucked in or something? I don't know.
What, the set?
Yeah.
No, there's no covers on it. It's all original stuff. It's we're playing 3 or 4 tracks from the new album and our EP. So it's kind of a bit of a mixture of both. So kind of give you a bit of a taster for what's to come next month.
And that's out 17th of March?
Yeah, 17th of March, yeah.
Are you excited ahead of its release? I mean, it's a monumental occasion getting your first album out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a debut album. It's just, that's the most exciting thing. And also, not only just releasing our debut album, we've recently just got signed to a record label, so releasing it through it just sort of amplified the whole thing, and everyone's just super excited about it.
Have you seen the finished product yet? Have you held it in your hands?
Not the actual, not the actual finished product. No, I've seen obviously all the artwork that's gone off, and we had to test the white label vinyls, and so we went to them, and they sounded really cool. But I haven't seen the actual final product yet.
I'm sure it's winging its way to you very soon.
I'm sure.
So when did you start recording the album?
Quite a while ago, actually. It's been a kind of bit of a long process. Before last year's tour, so it's been 2015. I think we started recording stuff for it. It was a very relaxed sort of process, because Matt Hard, the producer, came in and he recorded all the drums. And then, because we had access to this studio, so I ended up engineering the rest of the track, like the guitars, bass and vocals. So we never really had that pressure of having a producer there and we've got to nail it in one take or a couple of takes. So we kind of took our time, but also at the same time when we were trying to get that done, we had a lot of cool stuff coming up. Like we were dipping out, driving off to Europe to go and play with Mastodon and Gojira, and we all these tours come up, and this kind of. So the recording and the mixing stage took ages. It has been finished for a little while now, but we originally planned on releasing it independently. We were going to try and get it out in December, but BMG sort of got on board quite late in the game.
It's probably better off putting it out in March. Like December's notoriously difficult time to put a new record out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's probably
it's probably worked out for the best.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And you mentioned Matt Hyde. I mean, he's produced Bullet for My Valentine,
Yeah.
Slipknot. So is that why you went for him, or?
Yeah, well, yeah. I looked, I sort of looked at his. I actually heard a mix of his. I got in touch and was like, who's this guy? Who produced it? The track sounds really cool. And it turned out to be Matt Hyde, and I sort of checked into his background a bit, see who he's worked with, and see he's done all these cool albums which I like myself. So yeah, got in touch with him. I went and met him for a coffee in West London, in Wimbledon, I think it was, and just he's a really nice guy. He kind of was on board with what we wanted. He wasn't, he's not too pushy with sort of ideas. He kind of lets the creativity flow from us, which is nice.
So he's not like the dictator.
No, yeah, exactly. No, but he's also got really good ideas himself, so he just kind of works.
Yeah. I mean, you've been together, over 4 years now. I mean, some of those songs date back from those very early days, or have you sort of been writing more for the album the last year or so?
Yeah, definitely. Some of it does date back from before. I mean, we're constantly writing, so we've got loads and loads of material. But yeah, some of the album tracks, some of the riffs and that are from ages ago, but we've kind of revisited them and thought that's quite cool. Maybe we can do something else with that, and developed it. That's all kind of happened within the last year or so, yeah. And
that'll come with a lot of experience of being on the road as well. So you've got that germ of an idea, and you think, what on earth are we going to do with that?
Yeah.
A couple of years on the road, and it becomes instinct, I suppose.
Yeah. Like some of the stuff is kind of weird. Like, you remember the places that you come up with this. Like, for instance, I can't remember what riff it was now, but one of the riffs ended up. I just come up with. I think I was warming up with my guitar, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the dressing room. So I kind of wandered off into the toilets. And I've come up with a riff, and I just put it in my phone, and it's just like, strange.
Which one was that?
I can't remember what riff it was now. I was just saying, I know we named it Toilet Riff originally, but I can't remember what song it was.
So, I mean, as band members, do you all have sort of different tastes in music, and you bring sort of different ideas into the sort of songwriting process?
Well, so far it's kind of stayed as it was originally, songwriting-wise, with myself and Dan, the other guitar player. We kind of founded the band based on the fact that we got together and started writing tracks, and we did that from maybe 2009, 2010, and we were just doing whatever for a few years before we actually started the whole band, and it's kind of it stayed like that. I think not necessarily any reason. We're not sort of don't shut anyone out or anything like that. It's just kind of how it's gone. But I'm sure next album I think the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
But we do have like a very similar sort of taste in music anyway. Ever so slightly different each of us, so which could be quite cool in the future.
Yeah. So how would you describe your album to people who haven't heard it ahead of its release?
It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a complete drastic change from the EP stuff. Like, we've not decided, hey, we want to sound like this for this album now. Like I said, some of the riffs were actually from like ages ago as well. So I think like the EP is kind of like a small snippet of like a snapshot of what our sound, and the album's just kind of that, but on a larger scale. It's got a lot more dynamics going in, I'd say. There's a couple of songs which are kind of slower. Some are sort of more long and epic sounding, but I'd say generally it's a similar kind of vibe.
I mean, obviously your dad is in a reasonably well-known band that a few people might have heard of in the past. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. It must be something of a double-edged sword, being a sort of child of a rock star. So from one point of view, you get a wealth of experience to draw on and advice. Maybe a door or two could open, but from the other point of view, people say, "Oh, you're only getting on there because of who your dad is," and what have you. So how do you sort of prove to those doubters that you're doing this on your own merits?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a strange question. Like you said, that is exactly what happens. Like it's definitely opened doors. We got to go on tour with them last year, because of that. But we wouldn't have been able to do the tour if they didn't think we were good enough to do it in the first place. They just wouldn't. They just wouldn't have done it to themselves. But I don't know. I kind of just ignore people that kind of moan about it. We're doing our own thing. We make our own decisions. We write our own music, create our own artwork. It's all because we actually manage ourselves at the moment as well. So kind of the whole creative process is totally us. So I don't know. We just at the moment we're just doing our own thing and sort of blocking out any sort of opinions like that because they don't really care.
I think that is the best answer. Is that, well, if we were rubbish, they wouldn't have us on the tour.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. Sometimes I think that of these people you see on X Factor and the family standing backstage, you think,
Yeah.
Why did you let them go on the tour? Why did you do that? You know, he wouldn't put you through that.
Yeah.
I mean, to achieve so much, you know, you've done the American tour, you're touring with Anthrax, you've got your new album out. I mean, to do so much stuff at such a young age is incredible. I mean, how are you going to top what you've done so far with your next album? It's set the bar quite high.
Exactly. Yeah. It's everything we're doing at the moment is. Every step is like new for us at the moment, so it's all just mega exciting stuff. I guess like we just don't know how it's just going to go down. Like especially the whole record. It's the first time being a record label. We've never really sort of worked on before, so I don't know how it works. I guess we'll see how it goes, and I don't know. We're pretty excited about album number 2 already. We've already sort of got a lot of ideas and going for it, and it's you know, I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. I think in terms of next steps, obviously we've released a debut album. We've toured some amazing bands. We're gathering, you know, a pretty decent fan base. I guess the next step is to try out a headline show, which we've not done yet. Obviously, just try a sort of. It's obviously, you know, scaled right down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the next exciting thing for us, really.
So have you got a headline tour?
No, we don't have anything booked up. I'm just saying, like, you know, that would be the next kind of real sort of. But obviously, this is incredible.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be the next scary thing for us, anyway.
It's exciting times.
Yeah,
exciting times.
very.
You know, right ahead of the release of your first record, big tour. You know,
it ties in very well. Our album drops the day after the tour finishes, so it's quite, you know.
I think you'll have a good party that night.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Where is that?
The last show.
Yeah.
It's in Paris, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't get much better than that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one.
Well, George, it's been an absolute pleasure. Best luck with the rest of the tour, and best luck with your show tonight.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.